The next kind of illnesses are the ones of our intelligence. To defeat them, we invited Vladimir Georgievich Zhdanov to our festival. In our country, he's a personified curing of intelligence because he fights smoking and drinking. He's the main leader in this area. Illness of intelligence means lack of understanding of many things. For example, people do not understand that family must be preserved at any cost. Even those who listen to my lectures and do spiritual practice destroy their families anyway, not understanding that by doing so, life is destroyed even worse, and it is yet to be seen. People think they are going to divorce and it will be great. You destroy your life even worse, and you are going to see it in your life later. I have experience of thousands of people because they all come to me. This is the illness of intelligence, the desire to enjoy the feeling of being in love. It's nice to be in love when you are unmarried and when you do it right. There is this song about first love, and it ends interestingly. And our two paths link into one road. There are going to be a lot of good days in my fate. You see, two paths go into one road, although it is just the first love. And we enjoy our first love, and the second and the 10th, and afterwards we consider marriage. But you see, in this case, it's going together. This is pious love. We're going to have a lot of good days in my fate. That means long, happy life together, and that's the way you must think. That tomorrow is linked to yesterday by the connection of our hands. Yesterday and tomorrow are connected. But if a person does not understand that if he falls in love and he dates, that means that tomorrow is linked to yesterday already in his fate. He does not understand. If he just wants to enjoy relationships, he is going to have bad results. Because with each new relationship, piety vanishes and relationships get worse. A new marriage is worse than the previous one because there is less piety left. More suffering and more suffering. The more you break up, the more sufferings you have. You must stop at some point and start to think. Another illness of intelligence is to use the energy of love not to create family, but to enjoy. And all the society suffers from this illness. People do not understand how lechery is dangerous. They do not see how they destroy their lives. And the statistics is sad. Half of women in Russia are unmarried, and half of them are divorced. 80% of families are destroyed. 80% of people, they get divorced. If there is a wedding march, there is 80% possibility you get divorced. And only 20% that you stay together. Is that nice? Not so. This is the illness of intelligence. Sometimes a person does not want to get divorced, but his spouse leaves him. We also suffer because of people close to us. The next illness of intelligence is drinking. People sincerely believe that they can drink a little and that it is okay and even healthy. They do not understand that alcoholism is not just an illness. The spirits, the alcohol is not the problem. It surely destroys your liver, nervous system, hormonal functions, and all. But this is not the main problem. It is that a drop of alcohol takes away your intelligence. The person gets spirits in him. A spirit gets into his body, and it takes away the person's will and gives him happiness. The person cannot become happy himself. In order to be happy, he needs to drink. And victims of this provocation, of this illness, they made it a tradition at birthdays, at weddings and funerals to drink. Why is that? Because they cannot be happy naturally. There is no alcohol here. Do you see how happiness is deeper in a person who does not drink? How openly and happily you can laugh and dance. Without alcohol, the quality is higher of your happiness. And with alcohol, it is all madness, it's some enjoyment. There is more happiness without alcohol. There are 600 people here. Everyone's faces are bright. You can sing during the lecture. It is the mode of goodness. In the ancient Vedic culture, lectures were not read, they were sung. It was all in lyrics. In the spiritual world, every step is a dance, every word is a song. There is no prose. People in the mode of goodness, they sing and laugh and dance more, even during the lecture. And this man who sings right now, he is giving you a lecture. It is not a song. He tells you of God in this song, of his relationships. He conveys them to you. Sometimes he stops when there are no words, and then he goes on. The next illness of intelligence, people degrade gradually. They lose their will when drinking. They start small, they drink culturally. They visit someone, and it is wrong not to drink with the host. Do not believe in this culture. It is in the mode of passion and it destroys your life. Fight against it in your heart. Love neutralizes this feeling. Your love neutralizes the feeling that you do not belong with this world. I experimented. I read lectures in the restaurants when everyone drank and smoked. I read a lecture on vegetarianism and harm of drinking. But as I spoke with love to those people, I made jokes, I acted drunk, they laughed and they were happy. They continued to drink and smoke and they listened to me and they were happy because I did not blame them. With love I gave them knowledge and they were calm. I laughed at myself. Look, I am so sober. I am going to die healthy. Love neutralizes the feeling that you do not belong in this world. But if you do not like those people, if you feel fastidious, that means you have pride in your heart. It's another illness of intelligence. When the person starts healthy lifestyle, he becomes proud of it. When the person is proud with his knowledge, what are the signs? He feels disgust towards his close people who do not follow the same rules as he does. He terrorizes them, he throws away meat from the refrigerator. He flashes packs of cigarettes. He terrorizes his relatives, and he does not understand that people, they eat the way they do and they live the way they do because they cannot do otherwise. If you take a drinking person and take away alcohol from him without replacing it, he's going to get mad or ill. He drinks to lessen the sufferings he feels inside. And for the same reason, a person smokes. The main illness of intelligence is lack of spiritual knowledge. Until there is prayer, goodness and purity, the person cannot be happy. And so he mutes his mind with cigarettes and drinking. If you just take away drinking and smoking, the person will only get worse. They do not know how to quit it. Cocoa is an illness of intelligence. Not cocoa drink, but coffee with caffeine, which is a drug. And the tea also. Tea drinking is an illness of intelligence also. And the black tea also contains LSD, not only caffeine, another drug. In the process of fermentation, there is also LSD in the black tea. You should not drink either coffee or tea. They are in the mode of passion, not goodness. You can replace them with cocoa drink, but you must not drink coffee. If you want bitter taste, it is fine, but you must not want to drink things that give you sufferings. Where there are drugs, there are spirits. The person is intoxicated. Bitter taste itself does not intoxicate you, but if you drink coffee, you are intoxicated. Tea and coffee lead to the mode of ignorance. Your intelligence is weakened. If you get addicted, that is contact with spirits. Why can't a person quit drinking tea? He gets addicted. He cannot live without tea. He wants it for strength. But you can live without a chicory drink. If there is irreplaceable food, something the person cannot live without, you must have a question about it. For example, it is impossible to live without alcohol. That means the person is addicted. It is an illness on intelligence, and the spirit tells him, drink, drink more, I'm going to give you happiness. Be happy in the wildness, in some nice spot. Have no sadness with a jar of wine in your hand. And it turns into a culture. Let us have a smoke, my friend. Let us drink, my good friend of youth. Our heart is going to rejoice. It turns into culture. The Vedas say that ignorance is when right things are being criticized and wrong things become positive. That is ignorance. Everything is upside down. Non-drinkers are thought to be fools in our society, and those fools who drink are thought normal. That is ignorance. The values are turned upside down. It is the illness of intelligence. And there is another thing, another illness who's been in our society for centuries, and it cannot be rid of at once. That is meat eating. It is a real illness of intelligence. Because when a person eats flesh of an animal, of a killed animal, because no one eats flesh of the animal that died naturally. If a cow died here right now, you wouldn't be able to eat it. You will throw up. The meat is just the same, it is fresh. But in order to eat a cow, you must kill it. People eat this taste of violence, not meat itself. People want this feeling of violence. The Vedic culture does not prohibit to eat flesh of a cow that died naturally. Eat all you want. And even if you sell this meat in the market of the animal that died naturally, it would be untasteful to those who eat it. I studied this matter. The chemical composition is just the same, whether the animal died or was killed. The meat is just the same, but it only tastes good if the animal was killed, because there is energy of violence in it. That is the point. That is the thing about meat. When a person eats meat, there is no need for him to be cursed. You are cursed just by meat eating. The same goes for fish. You want to be cursed? Unhappy people live there. They look badly, but they are so kind inside. They can't find no food. They pray to God and they cry all the time. You can pray to God without crying, but being happy. Why do we cry all the time? It is because we are cursed. When we eat flesh, the animal who is still there in the subtle level, it has feelings just like we do, senses. Both people and animal, they are self-aware on the subtle level. And they curse the one who eats their flesh. They have the right to. People who kill the animal and eat it, they all share suffering among themselves. It happens naturally. For example, if someone knives you in your stomach, when the body is badly damaged, life leaves the body, and in that moment there are plans left that were not implemented, and naturally the dying person curses the one who kills him. Do you see how it works? The same thing goes for those senseless wars going on now. What do we fight for? What do we want to prove? Who is the winner and who is the loser? Everyone who fights in these wars are going to suffer. We must completely give up these wars. Deserters are much better than those who fight in this fratricidal mess. When the authorities divide land and property, people should stay out of it. They must not interfere, because it all only leads to responsibility. If you kill people, you are responsible. Therefore, people must reach for peace and not war and violence. But on this planet, wars are inevitable as long as we eat meat. The Vedas say it. When there is much violence from meat eating, at some point people lose their mind. They cannot make agreements. And starting from the top, people, they cannot agree. And then the war starts. The problem is the loss of wisdom. When there is a lot of violence around, people are brutalized. Just look, most part of the planet, they do not say that they want peace. They take sides. No one votes for peace. That means that everyone are affected by violence. And that means it's time to take responsibility for what we have done. Each killed animal is a responsibility of humanity. Our body does not need meat. It was proved by scientists. All dietologists in Russia know that meat eating is harmful for our health. At least all dietologists know that we should eat less meat. Vegetable food makes life longer, and a lot of doctorate theses say about it. A lot of studies prove that the more vegetable food we eat, the longer we live. It is undoubtable. All good scientists know that. And as for hemoglobin, I have friends, doctors in Omsk town. They made blood analysis. They are all vegetarians, about 20 people, and their levels of hemoglobin was higher than normal. No one really researched this matter. But there are those who start their vegetarian diet wrongly. They have no fats and proteins in their diet. They just eat salads, and that is wrong. Is anyone here hungry in this festival? And this is vegetarian diet. You eat as much as you want. You leave the dining hall stuffed, and everything is digested quickly. This is super. Isn't it great? And on top of it, it is really filling. Some people think that vegetarian food is weak. You cannot be full with it. Raise your hands, those who are not full. You are not? Why is that? Don't you eat? Your metabolism is very quick. Then eat more. So there is one woman here with quick metabolism. 1 out of 500 people. She does not get full. And those who eat too much, raise your hands. You cannot give up meat eating for nothing. People eat meat for a reason, and that is to subdue their subtle energy. When there is excessive psychic energy in the body, it must be spent, it must be transformed into love and progress. But if a person does not self-improve, the only thing he can do is eat meat, because when he does, his psyche, it calms down and he wants nothing else. When the person does not want to work on himself, the only way to get rid of excessive energy is to eat meat. I make serious research in oncology now. We made fundamental discoveries in this area. They are very important. We understood how tree roots affect tumors. They make them disappear. We are developing a new method of treatment, but we've known for a long time that if a person eats meat, it is impossible to cure cancer. Tumors, they feed from meat, and they become really strong. On top of it, if the person has a cancerous growth, he cannot eat seeds and grains and dairy products. Tumors, they grow because of it, but most of all, the tumor grows from meat. If the person eats meat, his body does not feed from it, it does not eat it. The person may even have aversion to meat, and that's a sign of cancer. The body rejects meat, but the person eats it by habit, and his tumor grows very fast. The same goes for smoking. It's a proven fact. And benign tumors turn into cancerous. Benign tumors are weak, they are just weak. And there is a small distance between benign and cancerous tumors. The roots, they burn tumors, they have very strong effect. We do not take for treatment those who eat meat. It is useless. The tumor will burn on the one side and grow on the other. Most people now die of cancer in this modern world. What is cancer?